Hello and welcome to another planning appeal case study video. I'm John Peters, and in this video I'm going to explain how we overcame a recent refusal by Warrington Borough Council for one of our clients. This planning appeal was to overcome the refusal for a replacement dormer extension that was refused by the local authority Warrington Borough Planning Department. Our council was initially booked in for a free, no obligation consultation to run through the refusal reasons that had been used by Warrington Borough Council and to evaluate if an appeal was viable or if an alternative option would be best suited for them. The free, no obligation consultation, which took around about 20 minutes, found that this case was viable for appeal to the Planning Inspectorate, taking the decision process away from Warrington Borough Council Planning Department. This case refused by Warrington Borough for the following reasons. The proposed development, when considered cumulatively with previous extensions to the property, would represent a disproportionate addition to the building. It would therefore represent inappropriate development that by definition would be harmful to the green belt. Very special circumstances have not been demonstrated to date that are deemed sufficient to outweigh that harm. This is one of those refusals that has a green belt refusal, and the property is not in the open countryside, but in fact at the end of a cul-de-sac position. And as you can see from the location plan, unfortunately many properties are affected by a policy that, in my view and opinion, someone drew the lines in the wrong place. A policy that was introduced to stop urban sprawl, not prevent growing families extend their homes. The inspector found that due to the small scale of the proposal and the proposed position, that it would have no impact on the green belt openness. The inspector also found that the proposal was a modest increase in size, but with previous extensions would result in the property having been increased by over 33% above the recommendations of the local authority's own supplemental planning document, SPD. The inspector went on to state that the SPD was guidance opposed to policy, and whilst the SPD is a material consideration, there are other factors to take into account, such as this extension would create an additional bedroom to the family home. Many of you are repeatedly stating that you've had little or no correspondence throughout the application process, and the first thing you knew was receiving a refusal notice from the council, and in some cases when you receive a letter from ourselves. With planning appeals, experience really does matter. Our specialist appeals team, who handle over 2.5% of all planning appeals in England and Wales that are currently produced and submitted, start by producing comprehensive and robust appeal statements that, in this specific case, covered 33 pages. That was just over 6,800 words. It's important to detail in the appeal statement where the local authority failed in their assessment of the case and how and where possible both local and national policy applies in favour of the appeal. Additionally, if possibly bringing in similar cases that the Planning Inspectorate found in favour of at appeal. Obviously, with the back catalogue we have of wins, we're able to use these cases and what the inspector said in them as additional argument to support the case we are working on. Once an appeal statement is completed, we send the document to our client, asking them to check that they are happy for us to submit the case. If we need to add any additional information that the client may have forgotten previously to supply, it's done at this point and the case is then submitted. It's vitally important that all the documents and responses are submitted on time throughout the process, as failure to do so will result in the appeal not being successful. Something we hear about often when people attempt an appeal for the first time. Always ensure you use professionals who have considerable experience of appeals. It is worth asking them for some recent successful planning appeal case studies like the ones you find on our website. Due to the large number of cases we represent, we have a dedicated team that liaises with the Planning Inspectorate on a daily basis. For this appeal, an independent planning inspector from the Planning Inspectorate visited the site on the 12th of September, and we're pleased to confirm the appeal was upheld and the permission granted on the 7th of December in a 3-page appeal decision notice. If you'd like to find out if we can help you with your planning appeal, complete one of our online forms on www.planningappealsuk.com, and a member of our UK support team we'll arrange for a free, no obligation consultation with one of our planning appeal assessment professionals. Thank you for taking the time to watch this planning appeal case study video, and I look forward to producing the next one very shortly. Bye for now.